is our real home. Atheists and materialists and other scientists will say the grave is our home. On the other hand, Christians, Jews and Muslims are thoroughly baffled and confused, with some saying heaven is our home, like Billy Graham here, while the Bible says the earth is man's eternal inheritance. Muslims at the same time, they also think that they will go to heaven, while in their Bible they say, my righteous servants shall inherit the earth. They all read the same holy books. Does it matter to know where our real home is? Very much so, because our real home is not in heaven or on earth. Let's look at this topic by considering the fact that the earth is too small and that there is a lot of scientific confusion about our home, where we will dwell or where is our home. And also there is the issue of consciousness that has baffled scientists and many other thinkers, including philosophers. Then we shall rediscover our real home, and then we'll summarize a number of factors concerning our real home. From the very early beginnings, the earth was clearly known and appreciated as a unique and no ordinary place. From its perfect size and distance from the sun to the incredible array of life forms that are found on the earth, it is very clear that the earth is a crowning achievement which for countless ages has witnessed a lot of drama of life that has been played out on the earth: wars, famines, disasters and genocides. This stands as a testament to the wonder and the majesty of human endeavour on earth. Is earth our home? When you look at this photo of the earth titled Pale Blue Dot, taken by the Voyager 1 spacecraft on February 14, 1990, from a distance of 6 billion kilometers from the earth, it appears that the earth is an infinitesimally small speck of dust, grain of dust, compared to the vastness of space that surrounds it. While the beams of light appear are the results of camera's optics and the light from the sun, honestly speaking, the earth is just something very, very tiny. Scientists were also baffled about it, and Carl Sagan was one of them, who described the earth as really nothing, a speck of dust, and that says where everyone lives, the aggregate of your joy and suffering, thousands of conflicts, religions, ideologies, economic doctrines, even hunter and forager, every hero, every coward, every creator, every destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived here, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. This is very, very amazing. Therefore, in conclusion, when we really think about it, our boastfulness and our arrogance pale in comparison when you sit down and ponder at the size of the earth compared to all the other cosmic and the vastness of space, such that you must reconsider and understand about these earth mysteries, hidden secrets buried in ancient history, full of strangest phenomena and deepest mysteries involving us, Earth's mysterious inhabitants, and the reality of alien machinations of the Earth's most puzzling phenomena, now creating the blinding effect on scientific knowledge as scientific confusion. Is it true then that the eternal Earth is the only known haven in the cosmos? Even though we live in the golden age of technology, even though science has achieved a lot of wonders, even though we have push button licensed technologies and advantages and breakthroughs, science has not found our home. The earth is not our home, because science has riddled the earth with human war, hate, racism and conflict, and some of these behaviors are natural and inborn in the human psyche and human biology. So we need to look for our real home. Though it claims it can create heaven on earth, science has no clue about human life because it has ignored the soul, spirit, or consciousness. When it comes to consciousness, it is a mystery to science. It has puzzled scientists, puzzled philosophers, and ordinary people for centuries. Despite significant progress in understanding the brain, how it works, the nature of consciousness remains largely enigmatic to science. The reason why these philosophers and scientists are puzzled and confused about science is that they have ignored the source where human enlightenment began. It is in ancient Africa. All these scientists from Greece and everywhere started in Africa, but they ignore this source when it comes to consciousness. However, not all scientists are confused about consciousness, but they are also confused about our home. Dr. Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff have accepted the existence of soul paradigm, but they consider to use the term consciousness in their work. And then they summarize that this consciousness is part of our universe, according to Dr. Penrose. And then says, so any physical theory which makes no proper place for it falls short of providing a genuine description of the world. Now, what we want to do today is that we want to summarize what the scientists conclude from their evidence and compare it with our ancestral sources. And then we'll go deeper a little bit into our ancient philosophies that has been ignored by scientists. Dr. Hameroff and Penrose have come up with what is known as the orchestrated objective reduction, OR, which is a theory that postulates that consciousness originates at the quantum level inside neurons rather than conventional view that it is a product of connection between neurons. So they've come up with microtubules which are found in nerves. The mechanism is held to be a quantum process called objective reduction that is orchestrated by cellular structures called microtubules. It is proposed that the theory may answer the hard problem of consciousness as well as the mechanism of free will. The other proof of consciousness comes from the evidence of anesthetics, balanced anesthesia, where they dim your sensory nerves using chemicals like opioids, ketamine, or nitrous oxide, and cognitive, and they produce amnesia and preferably unconsciousness when you inhale the agent propofol, midazolam, or any of these, and they relaxes your muscles. And then they go on to say, anesthetics prevent consciousness by dampening quantum terahertz vibrations in microtubules inside brain neurons. Psychedelics or drugs and all these other ones enhances such vibrations. What we want to know and what we want to say is that consciousness, when they say consciousness, it is all the activities of the ninefold soul inside the human being. And scientists want to run away from everything like ether and animism by then bringing in dark matter. So in addition to all this work from the laboratory of Roderick G. Eckenhoff at the University of Pennsylvania, there is a suggestion that anesthesia, which selectively erases consciousness while sparing non-conscious brain activities, acts via microtubules in brain neurons. There is no explanation for the phenomenon of consciousness in material science, but there is the evidence for all those explanations. They also, in explaining consciousness, say Roger Penrose and Hameroff, especially say Roger Penrose, deals with what is known as the quantum wave function collapse. You can read his book, The Emperor's New Mind, to understand his approach to consciousness. And when you compare with what we are saying here, you will see a lot of similarities. The Copenhagen interpretation of the quantum mechanics suggested that the collapse of the wave function is a consequence of the interaction of the particle with a macroscopic measuring device, which is a classical object and cannot simultaneously be in multiple states. Now, look at this diagram here. So consciousness is your existence, and all of your reality is only consciousness. So you will have it because you are part of a reality, even on a third dimensional speck of dust called the earth. That is too small. Collapsing the quantum wave, OCR, is the theoretic chasm, which we know as the void. Mukaha, shimo, mapumziko, utupu, umosha. Here's the question. Where then is our real home? It is not anywhere here. It is in your consciousness, in our consciousness, not in heaven, not on earth, not even anywhere in the universe, but in our consciousness, the quantum nature of the soul. Dr. Stuart Hameroff, Professor Emeritus at the Department of Anesthesiology and Psychology, as well as Dr. Roger Penrose, have developed this microtubule as well as OCR theory within which consciousness dwells. And our ancestors have had already that understanding. Rediscovering your real home involves awakening a process through knowledge. You must know that you don't know when you don't know, and that you know when you know. When you do that, your key to that is raising the Jedi, because you are in the material world. The body is the house of that divinity. When you know yourself, you shall know the divinities. You shall know the expanse of your consciousness and the size of your consciousness, which is unlimited awareness. Growth in consciousness doesn't depend on the will of the intellect or its possibilities, but on the intensity of the inner edge. That which is inside you must be raised up, because that's your home. You should take care of your real home beyond the smallness of the earth. From Kemetic centered living, we learn that man, being the ultimate creature, he is the image of the cause. Hence, he must bear in him a direct relations between its forms, with which must be directly proportionate to the measure of the cosmos in its entirety, the measureless cosmos. This is very powerful. The God is a mindset. That mindset is beyond human. That's why if you think like a human, you won't be able to understand a mindset of a God. If you have a mindset of a God, they won't be able to understand you, because they think like human. God is a frequency, not that speck of dust that we have shown. How do you rediscover your real home? By fasting, by gaining true knowledge that vibrates higher, and by realizing that hatred, jealous, aggression isn't you. These are just programs that have been put in place by the other illusions that are in this world. We know them as devils, archons, or negative spirits. Your task is to disinfect these programs and set yourself free. How do you set yourself free? Because that is the proof of consciousness being your home. The kingdom of heaven is within you, and whosoever shall know himself shall find it. That's what's taught by our ancestors. False religions like Christianity, Judaism, Islam came and started to teach that the kingdom of God is within you. They now are projecting you outside of you. Know the world in yourself. Never look for yourself in the world, for this would be to project your illusion. So Dr. B here says, true teaching is not about the accumulation of knowledge. It is an awakening of consciousness. which goes through successive levels until it arrives at the foundation of pure consciousness dancing near the chasm. But again, remember, this is all inside you, not outside. Infinity is inside you. So let's summarize. Though the earth is too small, our consciousness is expansive and goes into infinity across all dimensions if we are awake. Advancement in science and technology has a tendency to disseminate confusion about our home. Christianity, Judaism and Islam deceives followers by teaching a heaven and a God outside of them and receiving another God into them anyway. Rediscovering where our home is involves our consciousness, which is our home, in our soul. And then you have to deploy strategic action to renew your soul daily by connecting with the ancestors and the divinities and vibrating at higher frequencies. Last but not least, in our conclusion, melanin is power. And when you know this, you must know that you are a melanin dominant human being, but there is no power in having any more or less of melanin or DNA with 9 or 12 codons, because there are tools, just like anyone else holding an AK rifle and does not realize it or misuse it. Power comes from within, not without. From using your tools, not shouting that you have got an AK rifle or you have got all these DNA codons or melanin, but suffering injury or not firing or using your melanin. Appearances or possessing these tools mean nothing. Your spirit in your soul, in your consciousness, needs to be awakened. And that is when your power starts to work. And that is your home. When it is awakened, when it is an active verb, your power determines the level of your consciousness, your goodness, or your evil nature. For more information on this, send us an email or join at marifado.com. Till we meet again, remember, your home is your consciousness inside you. Your Hamaneja Topi, Priest Rabbi LM Tumizulu Kunikeni Mjakanja Msikabanu, saying Ameni.